Oh my God, I've been wanting to talk about this. It is so hard dating when you don't want kids. Even as a gay man, it is so hard dating when you don't want kids. Like, anytime I go on a date, the dude says he wants kids. And when I say I don't want kids, he's like really taken back, y'all. And this is gay men. Like, there really needs to be like a dating app for people that don't want kids. Because I just feel like, even when I put it on my apps, even though I don't like using the apps, but even when I put it on the apps, dudes will still match with me and they want kids. And I'm like, I don't understand. And my girlfriends have the same problem. They put on their page they don't want kids, and dudes will match with them that want kids. So that's like another aspect of it. Now I gotta go on the date and we gotta talk about it, and then I gotta try to figure out, do you really want kids? Do you not want kids? Like, and I don't really want somebody wishy-washy on that, because I don't want them. I'm firm in that. And in this economy, y'all don't be coming to the table enough with the coin to be wanting to have kids either. Because as a gay man, we would have to get a surrogate, which is like $60 to $90 to $100,000, and then even adoption is like $40,000, $50,000 with all the legal fees. So it's like, who really is prepared to drop that kind of cash? You know, it's one thing if you're straight, at least you can bop bop boop bop bop. But for a gay person, now I gotta drop $100,000 just to get the kid here. We ain't even got the kid here yet, and I'm out $1/10,000,000. Let us rich uncles and aunties be who we were destined to be. Dual income, no kids.
So I am intentionally child-free. I do not want kids. I'm coming up on my 30th. I've never wanted them, really. I still don't want them. I ended my last relationship because I decided I didn't want them. He decided that he did. It's a decision I've made, right? So every time I post about it, though, people are like, what are you doing instead? Like, are you bored? Like, what are your hobbies? Like, what are you going to do with your life? And I'm busy, y'all. Like, I love my life. I love how it looks right now. And I do things on my own time and on my own schedule. And I try new things all the time. And I just want people to drop in the comments, if you're child-free, any gender, if you're child-free, what are you doing with your life? What are your goals? What are your plans? What are your hobbies? Because I think that people need to see what it looks like to choose a child-free life, right? Like, we're finally starting to see discourse around, like, especially women, like, intentionally choosing not to bring kids into this world. But there's like this gap of like, okay, then what is life gonna look like? So for instance, I'm in grad school to become a therapist, which is my dream career. I run marathons, I play volleyball, I hang out with my friends, I travel, I go international at this point a couple times a year, and I love it. And I hope my life always looks like this or expands into more great hobbies. And having a toddler would throw a big fat wrench into all those things, right? So that's how my life looks now. I love it. I don't want that to change unless it's only to get grander in ways of like new hobbies and travel, right? So drop in the comments what you're doing with your child-free life so other people can see that it's a great option.
I just met my first child-free man. My first man that said first that he does not want children and is so cute and so tall and older than me. And we met at the LA Times food bowl. And he doesn't want kids. And it's so beautiful and refreshing to be able to meet men like this and say that out loud. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't want that. And they start saying all the same reasons that I think about not having kids. And he was feeling me. Not the guy that takes my number tonight also wanting to be child-free. This is why manifestation is real. You have to put it out there, say what you want, and deflect all of the people who are not giving you what you actually want.
In my almost 10 years of being a life coach, what I have found to be very problematic with men and women alike, whether it be heterosexual relationships or homosexual relationships, is people who do not have children being in relationship with people who do have children. For those of you who are new here, I am a certified life coach. I specialize in love and relationships, self-development, and finances, and I have been doing so for close to a decade. Since we've been on the topic of being equally yoked, let's continue that topic. I am not saying someone without children cannot be in a relationship with someone with children. Absolutely they can. It's something that has been done. It's something that will continue to be done. You should find who you want to be with, find who loves you, find who takes care of you, and vice versa, right? But the reality is that it's going to be much harder for a person who does not have the responsibility of children to understand the life of a person who does. Because we're not only factoring the children, we're factoring the children's other parent. We're factoring the relationship or relationships that the parent with children has to have with the co-parent. Which, if you are in a relationship with this person or married to this person, that means this is a relationship that you have to also have. And for the people who have had successful relationship with their partner's co-parent, Kudos to y'all. But I have seen it go left in way more occasions than I have seen it be right. So again, if you don't have children and you find someone with children who you love and you care for and you adore, and that person is giving you everything you need, baby, be with that person. This is not me telling you not to do that. But what I am saying is you have control over who you fall in love with. You have control over who you establish feelings for. I would highly recommend taking on the responsibilities that you already have or that you're familiar with when you can control who you interact with. Stay safe.
So I'm marriage, but I don't want kids. And that makes dating tough because I could be missing out on some good guys. Most people want kids. I feel like being child-free by choice is something I'm just seeing now more and more. My For You page is becoming accustomed to that. But I would say I have some fears in the back of my head that like I could be missing out on some good guys just because I don't want kids. Now, it's not going to change. I'm not going to go and pursue or allow myself to be pursued by somebody who wants kids. I think that kids are a major deal breaker, and I think that they should remain that way. So yeah, I think a lot of the connections that I have just been cut short prematurely. Well, not even prematurely, but just in early days because we disagree on that. And I don't know, that makes me worried. I know at the end of the day, I'm holding on to the belief that the person I'm meant to be with will also want the same things. But I don't know. I would say today it feels daunting. I am unwavering in my choice. I'm not having kids regardless of who I meet, come across, fall in love with. It's just, no, it's not going to happen. Because my reasons for not wanting kids are beyond the man itself. It has nothing to do with the man itself even. So Mr. Perfect coming along will not change that. So yeah, that's just something I'm thinking about. I'm trying not to have a scarcity mindset, you know, but the more stipulations you have, the less people you're going to be compatible with. And that's just something I have to be aware of.
What are you picky towards being against?
It's a sensitive topic, but I would prefer someone that does not have children because I don't have children.
Why is that a sensitive topic, though?
I just feel like it's one of those sensitive things where people are like, oh, okay. And they're like, well, who doesn't have kids now, especially once you reach a certain age? And
I think that's selfish. If people turn their nose up to you saying that you don't want to date someone with kids because you don't have kids, it's the people with kids that get upset at that, and people with kids from people that they kind of regret that get upset with that. That shit is selfish.
yes.
That is very, very selfish. So no, I'm with you. Why do you though?
Why do I what?
Why do you prefer your children to be their first children as well?
I mean, that goes into just, I want that experience to be together, like a union. Like this is our first time doing this together. I don't want somebody that's like, yeah, I've been through this already. And be like, not with me, you haven't.
Yeah.
Y'all, the way that I was like distraught 3 or 4 months ago because I didn't want kids, and I was with someone who did, right? I was with a healthy, loving, kind partner, and he wanted biological children of his own someday, and I didn't. I decided that that was not for me, that motherhood was a trap that I did not want to fall into. More power to you if you wanted them, and that's like a lifestyle choice that you want. Hell yeah, I support you, but not for me. And I was distraught every day. I was reading books, I was reading art, I was polling people with kids, I was polling people who chose not to have kids. Like, I was out of my mind trying to like make myself want them, right? And then I just couldn't. And I'm so glad that I honored those feelings and I exited that relationship, as hard as it was, as hard as it's been to go no contact with someone that I cared very deeply about. And now I get to see all of these like TikToks of like, oh, birth rate declining for the first time ever, like less teens pregnant compared to like, this is like the first time that we've had less teen pregnancies than 40 plus pregnancies, and we're seeing less and less women have kids, and how it's going to impact the fucking greedy capitalist society that we have built for ourselves. I am so excited and proud that I stuck by what I really wanted, and I'm excited that I didn't force myself to like try to want kids, or like I knew in my gut I didn't want them, and now I'm so grateful that I stuck by that. As hard as that decision was, I'm over the moon that I get to be a part of that generation of women who are saying fuck no to motherhood.
I match with men online and they end up having kids, or I see, I meet them in person and they end up having kids. I'm always like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be a stepmom. Like, it was really hard on me when I separated from my ex, and, I give them the whole spiel. And they're always like, I'm not looking for a stepmom. What the fuck was I gonna be then in your life? Like, what are you looking for? You're dating with intent, right? Or were you just trying to bang? Like, you're dating for a life partner, correct? So what would happen when we started dating? I would, not be a stepmom? I would not take the role of a stepmother, because what would I be, their sister? Like, what do you want? I'm so confused.
Hey, child-free people, here's an interesting question that came up. Would you date people with older children, like out of the house older? That question came up in my live this afternoon, and I literally had to pause, and I was like, wait, would I date someone with older kids? And then I thought about it, and the answer is no. Because again, it has nothing to do with the age. It's just like, kids are for the rest of your life. So if something goes wrong, or if they need support, you still have to help them with the kid. And of course, you should be able to lean on your parents, but it's just like, if something were to happen to my partner, I would have to step in. And again, I don't want to do that. It's a tricky one though, right? Because I think people assume that parenting ends at 18, right? That's their whole thing. Like, well, I'll be free in my 40s because I had a kid and when I was young, and I'll be free. No, you won't. Like, it's almost like people who have kids think they're going to live this perfect, picturesque life, and that nothing will happen to them or their kids. And therefore, once they turn 18, they'll be free. And it's just not true. So no, I can't date someone even with older kids, adult children, I should say, because at the end of the day, it's still a child.
Why does every man I meet want kids? Why do you all want kids? Have we looked around recently? You guys, I feel like I'm going crazy. And I don't think it's too woke of me to think critically about these things in this manner, because any way I look at it, whether it's political or economic or social or financial, etc., it does not make any sense to have a biological traditional family in this country at this time or in the next 5 or 10 years. Yet every man that I am remotely interested in drops the bomb of, yeah, I want kids. Read the room. What are you talking about?
I stay up all night. Now, I've been in this situation before on her side of the fence, and believe me, this scenario sucks. But holy shit, do I have a life hack for you. Now, for the longest time, I was one of those people that really didn't know if I wanted to have kids. I either didn't want to have them or I wanted to wait until I was way older. But recently, I experienced something that made my decision to never have kids extremely easy. So if you're a couple and you're in this situation, or maybe you're just an individual and wondering, should we have kids, should we not, is it best for us? Go to fucking Disneyland. That's right, Disneyland in California. You'll never want to have kids after leaving there. First of all, the whole cart is littered with strollers. There's no trash, just fucking strollers everywhere. No idea where they come from, but you literally fucking trip over them. Next, every ride has lines of just screaming, disgruntled children. In my 16 hours there that day, I don't think I saw one adult that had a child that was fucking happy. I mean, they were all miserable and exhausted. Even at 8 in the morning when the park just opened, they were just pissed off. One couple was having a full-on domestic dispute at breakfast. I also never understood why you bring your kid under the age of 5 to these parks to make memories. They're not going to remember it. I don't remember what I did yesterday, never mind what happened when I was 5. Parents pushing their 10-year-olds in fucking strollers so they don't have to walk. Like, what in the fuck? Lastly, the money. I mean, I can't even financially support myself, never mind a child at Disneyland. Your basic food and drink costs is going to force you to take out a second mortgage if you have a family of 4. No lie, we saw this poor guy with a hotel luggage cart full of merchandise. Full. Like, he needed straps to hold this shit down. How? That whole experience just affirmed my decision that I am never having kids. I will just stay a 30-year-old that has no fucking clue what he's doing with his life instead of being a miserable parent at Disneyland. No thanks.
This video is for someone who knows that they don't want kids, or maybe that thought has crossed your mind where you don't want children. I know that I 100% do not want kids. When I, date or whenever I go on dates, it's one of the first questions I ask, because I do like to intentionally date. And if they're 100% on kids, there's really no, reason to continue getting to know each other, because that's not something that we are compatible on. You can't compromise on that. You can't have half a kid. And I would never want to bring a child into the world that wouldn't feel 100% wanted. But my therapist brought up, I had said, I feel like I'm too selfish to have a child. I want to do what I want when I want. I like going to the gym for 3 hours a day. I like going on random trips. I get to do that. I get to have that freedom because I don't have children. My therapist said it's not uncommon for people who didn't get their needs met as a child by their parents, and they would always have to meet their needs themselves. It's not uncommon for when they get older to not want to put someone else's needs before theirs. So, when you have a child, they always come first. A lot of your needs go to the wayside. She said that, and I was like, oh, shit. I never thought of it like that, and I mean, it's true. I like doing whatever I want, and the thought of bringing another human into the world, and I am a firm believer, if you bring a child into the world, that's your life. You take care of them with everything you have, and I don't want to do that. I want to take care of me with everything I have. I love my life. I love the freedom I have, and I don't know, just her saying that kind of stuck out to me. I definitely am, I guess if the word is selfish, I put my needs first. When I'm with a partner, I put both of our needs, they go hand in hand. But a child is completely different, and I don't know, that's kind of thought-provoking for me. So I don't know if anyone else has heard this, but I had never heard of that before. So yeah, I'll keep sharing things from therapy if you guys want me to.
Whenever people find out that I don't want kids, but I'm married and I've been married for 13 years, people are like, how did you find a partner that also doesn't want kids? And my answer is, when I met him, he actually did want kids. I was the first girl he had ever met, let alone dated, that had not wanted kids. It was like a completely foreign concept to him. He had never even thought about the fact that somebody, especially a woman, could grow up and just not want kids. And I completely respected his views and his wants, which is why I was very upfront about the fact that I was like, from the beginning, just so you know, I most likely do not want to have kids, and I want you to know that ahead of time. So if you want to get out, you can. But what he started to realize over the course of our relationship, as we were traveling wherever we wanted and moving whenever we wanted and just living on our own terms, is that while, yes, I'm sure there are so many benefits to having kids, I'm sure you love them so much and it changes your life in the best way, there are also a ton of benefits to not having kids, like your freedom, your time, your mental health, your money. Both things can exist. You can acknowledge, like I do, that becoming a parent is literally the most important, probably the hardest job anyone will ever have in their lifetime. And also acknowledge the fact that some of us don't want that responsibility, or some of us just don't feel like we are cut out for that. We take the decision so seriously, and we just know that it's not for us. Or
child-free? Come on, we know it's just because no one wants to sleep with you. Okay, but I literally have a partner that I slept with last night. He's just using you. Plus, you're probably not even child-free by choice, you're probably barren. Wow, I haven't heard that term since 1665. You know that if I really wanted a kid, I could do IVF, I could get a surrogate. Don't even try to adopt because you hate kids and you'd be an awful parent. You'd never get approved. Well, there's also a lot of issues with the adoption industry. But anyway, you think that I hate kids and I'd be an awful parent, so I should have kids. Yeah, having a kid might make you mature a little bit, help you realize the world doesn't revolve around you. You're beyond help. But if I'm beyond help, wouldn't that mean that even having a child wouldn't make me change? And I'm sorry, can we go back? I'm really concerned that you're telling people who you think hate kids to have kids. Kids are magic. They can make even the most awful person loving. Even you. Okay, you're really talking out of both sides of your mouth here. I need you to tell me, would a kid make me a better person or not? It wouldn't. Your content shows that you are a legit child hater. You think you can just hide behind calling yourself